back again. So I mentioned in the last video that ADHD was going to come up a lot here. For anyone who might not know, ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. It's a mental disorder that is typically characterized by not being able to focus and being really, really, really hyperactive. It's like 10 o'clock at night, my time, when I'm filming this, so you might actually get to see some of my ADHD symptoms. Probably you're going to see me fidgeting a lot, just constantly messing with stuff. So just be aware of that. That's normal for this time of night for me. So this video is kind of, sorry, my hair's not cooperating. It's kind of just things that I wish people would, that I've heard that had people either say to me that I wish people would stop saying about ADHD, and things that are just public misconceptions about ADHD and what it is. Let's just dispel some myths here first, shall we? The most common myth out there about ADHD is that it is a learning, and this is even in textbooks, that it's a learning disorder. No. It is a learning disorder, but it doesn't just affect learning. There's been documented emotional, social, it impacts every area of life. Just to give a couple quick examples, the part of your brain that lets you filter emotions. So the part of your brain that lets you know, hey, I probably really shouldn't express that right now because it might get me in trouble. In people with ADHD, that part of the brain is not only smaller, but it just doesn't light up properly in brain scans. And on top of that, in terms of social, like people with ADHD socially interacting with people, they've documented what is called rejection-sensitive dysphoria in terms of social impacts of ADHD. And basically what that says, this rejection-sensitive dysphoria says, is that people with ADHD, we know we don't tend to react correctly in social situations. We're aware of that fact. It's very obvious, blatant to us. So what happens is we start to look to others for approval of our behavior. We watch other people's reactions to what we're doing to say, okay, are we good? Are we gonna cause issues here? And what they found is in people with ADHD, they're so sensitive to judgment, real or perceived. Somebody doesn't actually have to be judging me, but if I think, oh my God, they aren't happy with how I'm behaving right now, if I feel like I spend all shifts at work feeling like I'm going to get in trouble. I've never gotten in trouble at work, but I just been, that's a very real fear. And if people with ADHD, when there is criticism, it just devastates them. Like there's been articles written and the title is literally devastated by disapproval, because we cannot handle disapproval, and that is, that can impact us socially, because what happens is some people with ADHD, they literally will become a recluse. I will admit I'm one of those. I tend to be more of a recluse. But other people, they just hide who they really are, and become, this life of the party. And so that's a social impact, because you're either, not interacting with people because you don't want to feel judged or disapproved of, or you're not being yourself, but everyone's part of your little thing. So, the next most common myth, and if I hear this one more time, I'm probably going to scream, like for real, and that is that it's possible to outgrow ADHD. Really? Because new research is showing that 50% of kids that are diagnosed ADHD will continue to struggle with it into adulthood. They will continue to suffer from symptoms of it well into adulthood. I'm 19. I'll be 20 in 5 months. I still have symptoms. People, like even my dad, seems to act like, okay, well, you're an adult now. This shouldn't be a problem. That's a kid thing. No, adult ADHD is a very, very real thing. And they're actually showing that some people may outgrow symptoms of it to a level where, maybe, where, if you reevaluated them now, they might not show to have it. But there's structural differences in the brain when you have truly have ADHD, and you can't really outgrow the way your brain is structured. Hate to be the one to break that to anybody, but you can't. Sorry, not sorry. And the next one is one I heard from a friend's dad at dinner. But what he was saying was that people with ADHD just need to be taught to control themselves. You don't need ADHD medication. You just need to be taught to control yourself. Really? Are you going to tell my mind that next time I don't have my medicine and I'm literally running around like a chicken with my head chopped off and still can't get anything done because I'm getting sidetracked by bits and pieces of trying to do everything on my list? Yeah. And I've been diagnosed with it for almost 15 years. I was diagnosed in kindergarten. I know coping mechanisms. Yeah, still doesn't help. The last one is one I've heard from parents who chose not to medicate their ADHD kids a lot. And for some people, not medicating works great. Personally, mine was severe. When I was diagnosed, I was given the diagnosis of severe ADHD. And so, literally my fidgeting has been limited to my hair. Really, really sorry about that. But, one of the things that I hear from parents who chose not to medicate is that ADHD medicines turn children into zombies. Am I a zombie? I've been medicated for almost 15 years. Am I a zombie? No? Okay. Well, then what that shows is with the proper medication and the proper dose of that medication, what it does is it literally does what it's supposed to do. It brings their, balances out their brain chemistry enough that they can function properly. Even medicated, I still have some symptoms on a daily basis, but with medicine, it improves focus, it improves, so you have to find the right medicine and the right dose with your doctor, because, too much of an ADHD medicine can, zap the personality right out of a person. But if it's the right dose of medicine, they won't be, they're perfectly functional. Now the next is things that the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things on my list are things that have either been said to me regarding an ADHD symptom, or that I've read somebody saying about ADHD. And as a just side note, because you're going to hear me use side notes a lot in my videos, if you feel like there's something that should be on this list that's not, drop a comment, email me, Instagram comment on something, tweet me, in some way let me know, because I will probably be updating this list at some point in the future and would love input. So one thing I've read, somebody saying, I can't remember if it was a comment on something ADHD related, or if it was, just a general comment from somewhere. And that is that ADHD is just an excuse for fill in the blank. ADHD, if the child is raised properly, that is, they still get punished appropriately, they still, for misbehavior and all that, they're still, held accountable for their actions. ADHD is never an excuse. I would never use ADHD as an excuse for something. It's an explanation occasionally. Occasionally I'm going to behave in a way that is not acceptable, even though typically I know better. I do know better, but I can't help it. It's not an excuse, it's an explanation. But there are very few behaviors that, at my age, I would still attribute that to. And so to say it is an excuse, obviously you've met what you're dealing with is parents who just not even tried to discipline their child and used ADHD as an excuse, which would never fly in my house. Now the next one, I don't know if anyone else has heard, so I'd love to hear feedback, comments about this as well. I get told a lot from, especially my dad, you're just a slop. Really? Because I'm doing all the housework. Yes, my school notes aren't organized in nice little folders and binders. Yes, all my class notes are in the same notebook. Yes, maybe my bathroom counter isn't the tidiest, but my brain doesn't function if everything's neat and tidy and organized, because it's not wired that way. The best way to put an ADHD brain is just that if you want us to remember stuff and get it done, it needs to all be in the same place. So we need a little chaos, disorganization. Otherwise, our brain doesn't function. It's not going to stay that way. I've tried organizing my notes into separate folders for each class, separate notebooks for each class. It doesn't stay that way. My brain literally will not let it stay that way. And that's not being dirty. Like, I'll admit, right now I probably need to clean my room. But it's not filthy. There's a difference, in my mind, there's a difference between a slob and disorganized. I can function disorganization. I clean my living room 3 times a day because I can't function in filth. So, yeah, that's that. The next one I actually had a friend say this about me to someone else when I was sitting right behind him. And what he said was, this is Megan, she talks a lot. Allow me to throw the DSM at your face and point out where it said that one of the traits they use to diagnose ADHD is motor mouth, talking too much, talking excessively. So shut up and let me talk. Thank you. Have a nice day. The next one I hear from my dad a lot is just to tell me to stop pacing. Allow me to enlighten you about how it feels when your ADHD, your medicine's worn off, and you can't move. You're stuck in a situation where you can't move. You literally feel so uncomfortable that your muscles feel sore and hurt. You literally are that uncomfortable. And for me, I turned my phone from silent to ringer. I hit that I have an iPhone, so I don't actually know where it is right now, but I will literally click the silent button on that off and on if I can't physically, get up and move for some reason. But if I am moving, if I can get up, typically I'm going to start pacing because moving feels good. We feel uncomfortable just sat there. Like, our brain is not wired to just sit there. So, you're going to see me shifting, fidgeting, pacing. And that's just going to have to be okay? Thank you. The next one is one I actually saw somebody else who talks about ADHD in videos. She said that she had someone tell her she was too smart to have ADHD. She'd graduated high school with honors. I graduated high school a member of the National Honor Society, for which you have to have above a 3.5, I think, GPA on a 4-point scale. I'll correct myself in a later video if I'm wrong, but that's not even the point of it. The point of it is Walt Disney, who created movies that we all love. We're talking the mastermind behind Cinderella, behind Snow White, movies like that. A creative genius for his time. Still considered a creative genius. He was ADHD. Allow me to correct that, because he wasn't ADHD. He had ADHD. That's the thing. A mistake I make a lot is I say I'm ADHD. No, I have ADHD. The disorder shouldn't define you. It's a part of you. So basically, what my point of this little tirade is that if ADHD is properly treated, or if you let the natural creativity that an ADHD brain has go, you foster it, you hone it, it has no bearing on intelligence. None. Very intelligent people have had ADHD. So don't sit there and judge my intelligence because I have this. It's a part of who I am. Doesn't define anything about me. And the last one is something my little sister said during an argument that I seriously went to my mom and were like, seriously, Mom, punish her for this because this hurts. She said, I told her, I can't wait till you actually have to live in the real world, because I just finished my first year of college. And so I lived away from home and had to do stuff for myself that she doesn't know how to do yet. And I told her, I wish, I can't wait till you have to do that. And her response to me was, well, if you can do it with ADHD, it can't be that hard. Ow. Like, seriously, ow. Having ADHD does not mean incapable under any circumstances. It does not mean incapable. It just means that for certain kinds of work, I'm just going to have to work harder, or it might take me longer, but I can still do the same work as everyone else. So don't treat me like I'm incapable. Okay, just don't. Don't talk about me like I'm incapable. Don't look at me like I'm incapable, because I'm just as capable as you are. And so that is my little list of things that I wish people would either stop saying to me about ADHD symptoms, or that I wish would really be set straight about ADHD. Like I said, if there's earlier in the video, if there's anything that, other people with ADHD and you think of something and you want, you think it should be on this list, let me know, because like I said, I'll probably be updating it at some point, and would love to have feedback from you guys. If you liked what I had to say, or you related to what I had to say at all, give it a thumbs up. If you have other ideas for other stuff I should talk about, comment. Find me on social media. There's an email too if you're not comfortable posting stuff on where other people can see it, because I know I'm a little bit that way. I don't like posting, hey, do this kind of stuff where other people can see it. So, and other than that, see you here in a couple of days. Bye!